Hello and welcome to your pre-event guide for your upcoming Databricks workshop. I'm just going to spend a few minutes here, kind of walk you through how to sign up for Databricks Free Edition if you haven't already done so. Log in and just make sure your workspace is ready to go as we kind of present our content and get you engaged for the workshop. If you have questions, you can also kind of bring them up at the beginning of the workshop. They'll spend some time there to make sure that we're all on the same page about logging in, getting access to the environment and making sure we have the correct lab installed. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. So to sign up for Databricks Free Edition, I already have this URL in place, but that's exactly what that is right there. Databricks.com/learn/free edition. If you also Google for Databricks Free Edition, it should come up here. Yeah, right at the top, the very first option is the Databricks Free Edition. So whether you just search for the URL or type it in yourself, you'll eventually end up here. Note that we are no longer supporting or using or recommending Databricks Community Edition, which is honestly a great thing because the free edition comes with so many more features and kind of action-packed abilities for you to be able to do for any trainings, hobbying, or kind of whatever you need. So once you're here, if you have not already signed up for free edition, we're going to click this big red button, sign up for free edition. If you already have an account, then you can just go ahead and go to login. I already have an account, but we'll kind of walk you through how to do this anyway. With Databricks Free Edition, you can connect using Google if you have a Gmail or Microsoft if you want to use your Entra ID, or you can actually just use an email and a password here. And this can be your personal email, it can be a professional email, honestly, whichever is easiest for you. So I'm going to link this to a Google email that I have. So we'll continue with Google. And from there, I have this Alexander Databricks demos Gmail that I kind of have in place. And it should come back and say, hey, I actually already have an account. So if you didn't, it's that easy, just one click and you'll be kind of our thing just logged straight into the system. In my case, I already have an account. So if I click on my linked account, it should connect and throw me into this workspace. And yeah, I've been pretty busy in here. I actually have a couple free edition accounts that I use for some hobby work as well. All right, so hopefully you should see something that looks like this, maybe not with all of those recents, but you probably have like an empty kind of home page here. So just to recap how we log in and sign up for free edition, go to databricks.com/learn/free edition. Either click sign up or log in. Once you have got there, select the account or your Gmail, your Microsoft, or your personal email, whatever you use to sign up. Validate that is the correct account, and then it should send you straight to the home page. All right, a little bit of a tour here. On the left, you'll see all the different options and functionality that Databricks Free Edition provides. And if you know anything about Databricks, this is actually like 90% of it, which is awesome. So a couple things to note. First, we're going to be working out of our own personal workspace. Note that you're the only user of this workspace, so you don't really have to worry about anyone else logging in or mixing and matching data. It's a personal private bubble just for you to kind of play around with and get everything established. So when I click in a workspace on the left-hand pane, you can kind of see my file explorer or just file tree. And if I go into my workspace, we can go into my user folder. And this is where you'll see everything that you can create. And here, again, yours will probably be fairly empty, but feel free to start creating folders to organize your files. Or you can even go ahead and create a notebook, which is what's what I'm going to do right now. So once we've navigated to our workspace, again, technically it's going to be your personal user workspace. And again, that should hopefully just be the default if you click on workspace. We're going to hit create and we're going to go down to notebook. So what this does, this creates a new notebook where we can write Python, SQL, even other languages as well. And we can even mix and match between Python and SQL. So you'll have a lot more experience actually working in notebooks, writing code, and generating data products inside of Databricks during the actual workshop itself. I'm going to walk through two more things. You're almost done. So first, how do we attach to a compute? To attach to a compute, we're going to click this big flashing blue circle up here at the top. And if you actually close out of this left pane catalog, you'll see that it actually says the word connect, which is useful. So when we click this, this will allow us to connect to our serverless compute. Essentially, this is just a warm compute that, again, is just dedicated for your environment. But Databricks will manage all the infrastructure stuff behind the scenes. So we can get straight into creating code and creating kind of data analysis and AI products. So once it has the green connected, we should be good to start writing code. You'll notice by default, our notebook will be in Python. You may switch that to SQL later on. We're going to leave it as Python for now. Next, what I am going to do is rename the notebook just to make it a little bit clear. I'm going to call this install lab, or you could call it install Databricks demos, install demos, what have you. And if you really want to make sure everything's working before we install the demo, we can type in print hello world, and if all goes well, cross your fingers, amazing. Look at us writing code and executing it. Very cool. All right, so for the lab, for our workshop, we're going to be working out of some pre-packaged Databricks demos that we have available. Again, these demos are free to all. You can install them in your own workspace in Databricks Free Edition, either way, and they should all work. To install the labs, I find it easiest to go to dbdemos.ai. And again, we'll actually generate the notebook together here that we need. And so you won't actually need to go through any of the URLs. But dbdemos.ai is your shortcut to show up to the Databricks tutorials workshop. So you'll see here we have a lot of different tutorials available for us. Whether your passion is data engineering at scale, you want to learn more about Spark, you want to learn more about declarative pipelines, whether you want to learn more about AI BI or Genie dashboards, or even some of our, where's our AI ones? There we go. Agentic AI, you want to build a RAG bot or do some image classification. We our MLOps end-to-end pipelines, a lot of good examples and demos here. For us, we're actually going to be doing this workshop out of the customer C360 example, which is just a general overview of the entire Databricks platform with kind of a focus on data engineering as well as machine learning and reporting. So here we go. If I click into this workshop, you'll see this is the lab that we are going to install. And it gives us a little bit of code. I find that this code is a little bit, we need to change it up just a little bit to make it run in our notebook. And again, you can always pause, slow me down to half speed as we kind of work through and type it out. All right, so luckily, here's one I made earlier. We'll just go ahead and do this all together line by line. So the first cell, we're going to pip install dbdemos. We actually have loaded up these demos as a pip package that we can install with Python. And then we're just going to restart Python just to make sure that our environment is ready to go with this new library that we have installed. So pip install dbdemos and then restart pipeline. If you're curious, this little percent icon implies that we're running this out of the command line as opposed to just running it as raw kind of Python syntax. So we should be able, all I did there was I hit Shift Enter or Shift Return on a Mac to be able to execute the cell. You can also hit the play button at the top left of each cell to run it as well. And if all goes well, this should hopefully say succeeded here in just a second. Yay. All right, and now that we have installed DB demos, the next thing that we need to do is import it. I probably could have typed this one out by hand. Let's do that. I'm gonna actually type this one out. Look at me. Import DB demos, and then we're gonna go to, I hit enter there for a new line, dbdemos.list demos. And this will actually do the same thing that we just saw. If we working through dbdemos.ai, it listed all the different demos that we have available. But this is a more programmatic way if you wanted to see all the demos that are available to you within our, I guess, library here. So again, we have our Lakehouse, data engineering, DB SQL, AI BI, and Genie. A lot of interesting demos and workshops you can run through on your own time. For ours, we're going to be running the Lakehouse Retail C360. So it even gives us the little code snippet on how to install it. There's a couple things we need to change with how we run this. First, we need to specify where we want to install the demo. If we actually check in our catalog, you'll see that we have one kind of parent catalog here called Workspace. And within Workspace, we have different databases or schemas that we call them that contain the information. So we actually need to specify that, hey, I want us to work out of the Workspace catalog, and I want to locate this information into my this new schema just for this activity. I also like to put overwrite equals true just so it makes sure to delete anything that was already there if you'd already installed the demo, for example, and reinstall it. So you'll see I actually have already run this demo before and installed it. So it's going to be loading the Lakehouse Retail C360 workshop into my workspace catalog within a new schema called dbdemos retail C360. And if it already exists, it will overwrite it. So cross your fingers, should be able to run this. This will also take 30 seconds to a minute to run, just to install. And you're not going to see anything kind of change over here, like it's suddenly deleting and then refreshing. But once that is installed and we get our little green check mark that says it was installed, we should be able to see two things. First, if you refresh the catalog and open up your workspace, you should see this DB demo schema with everything inside of it, including, well, maybe not all of this stuff yet. Actually, let me go ahead and just delete this and then I will reinstall it. Hopefully it lets me delete it. I'll have to delete it later. But you should be able to see kind of the schema with probably not all of these things because like I said, I already ran through some of it. But you should be able to see kind of uh, the catalog show up, the schema show up here. And then second, if we click, and perhaps most importantly, if we click on the folder icon, you should be able to see a new folder called Lakehouse Retail C360. This is going to give us all of our notebooks that we are going to run during the lab. You can see we have our 00, our introduction of what we're going to walk through. And then from there, we also have our notebooks around creating our tables, creating our models, creating our dashboards, etc. So this is actually what you need to check and confirm has been installed in your workspace, as these are the notebooks that we're going to run. Again, just to clarify, the catalog and seeing some of the tables here, you will not see all of these things because some of these data products will be created when we run the notebooks and run the lab. For example, this model will be trained during the workshop. It won't just be created upon installation of the library or of the lab here. So again, just to recap, all that we need to do, we're going to sign up for Databricks Free Edition. We're going to log in to Databricks Free Edition using our email. Once we have logged into Databricks Free Edition, we're going to navigate to our workspace. Within our workspace, we're going to create a new notebook. We're going to title that notebook Install Lab, Install Workshop, Install Demo, whatever you want to call it. We're going to connect to our default compute. We're then going to run 3 commands: pip install dbdemos, import dbdemos to load the library, and then dbdemos.install, and we will be installing the Lakehouse Retail C360 demo, which again, you'll see as linked in the tutorial platform as well. And then once you have run those 3 commands and have installed the workshop, you should be able to see a new folder in your workspace that contains the notebooks that we will execute during the lab. And perhaps you'll even see the new schema created within your workspace that will contain the data products that we will create during the workshop as well. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out at the beginning of the workshop. The instructor will also walk through some of these instructions fairly quickly. But again, if you already have free edition and the DB demos installed, it'll make the actual code and walkthrough of the lab much quicker and much more engaging. Thank you for your time and good luck with your workshop.